There is nothing as uniquely fun as a summer road trip, and because I live in a city and don't own a car, I had to rent one. And to my surprise, I was able to rent this electric car, a 2023 Polestar 2, for about the same price as a Toyota Camry. And why wouldn't I? This thing moves a little faster, it's a little more fun, it's better for the environment, but what should you keep in mind before you rent an electric car for your next road trip? Well, let me tell you about how my experience went and what I learned along the way. The first thing you want to keep in mind is that no matter the length of your road trip, take a little time before you even set out to just plan your route. You might be lucky enough to drive through areas where electric chargers are super common, but if you know that that's not going to be the case, if you know that you're going to be riding into some remote regions, it's great to be able to know where you can stop along the way and refuel this thing whenever you can. Now, cars like Tesla's and this Polestar have tools built in to help you find nearby chargers, and I was lucky enough to never really have to drive too far out of the way to find one. But Google Maps can come in really handy too. We actually used it to find this charging station in the parking lot of a Whole Foods. It's really nice because it does give you, in addition to a sense of how many charging stations are actually free, it'll also tell you which ones are capable of charging your car faster. Here's the next tip, and it sounds counterintuitive, but you can actually save yourself a little time by not charging all of the way. Like your smartphone or your tablet, it's not uncommon for these cars to charge very quickly up to about the 80% mark, and then just sort of slow down considerably after that as you inch towards 100% full charge. That's partially because these cars need to slow down that charging rate to preserve the health of the battery long term. So if you're itching to get back out on the road and not spend as much time sitting around, 80 should be fine. And if you're in areas where you know you'll have access to chargers pretty easily, yeah, just wait until the next one, top it up to 80, hit the road again. The last and maybe biggest lesson I've learned on my little EV road trip is that everything just takes a little bit longer than you expect it to. So just build a lot of extra time into your itinerary. In a lot of cases, that came down to charging situations for me, and not the ones you'd necessarily expect. I spent truly one night driving from 1 to 2 to 3 charging stations because, well, the chargers seemed to work fine if I had gotten them to work correctly, but the card readers, maybe the most basic part of this entire charging infrastructure, didn't recognize any of my credit cards. And I was eventually able to charge my car successfully, but because of these little factors that you just really can't account for just by looking at charging stations on a map, just be sure to give yourself extra time to do everything. So if all of that sounds like stuff you're willing and able to live with, then yeah, I think you could have a nice little weekend road trip in an electric car and not lose too much of your hair like I have. But if you do decide to go for it, just a couple parting notes to keep in mind before you actually hit the road. First, try to do a little research about the specific model you're considering renting before you get in one. I didn't do that with this Polestar 2, and as much as I really loved driving this car, I didn't realize that the charging port is in the back where you would normally stick in a pump and pump some gas, which means I've basically had to get really good at backing into parking spaces. Did I get it? The other thing I'd ask you to do, if you're a fan of using your credit card's coverage for rental cars, be sure to call them and confirm first, because not all of those credit card coverage plans actually apply to electric cars.